Oh, the joy. Okay, so I've got these connecting rods all rejoined to their pistons here. And as you can see, they turn on the rings really easy, but they don't. They're kind of really tight. This is going to be tight when this engine goes to start for the first time. So what I'm going to do before I actually slide these pistons in is I'm going to put some oil on the inside here, because these were assembled dry. I'll put some oil in there and I'll run the pistons up and down a little bit and get those all lubricated up. But I do have a problem right now. I have to put the new seals and gaskets in here, which isn't really a problem. It's just a matter of the red one is the orange one goes on top, the white one goes on the bottom, and this black one goes right here, right there on the sleeve, and then you press them down in. But where these O-rings go, I have to clean them out. So I went and I bought these little guys here, and my problem is that I don't have the length that I need to get it down into the cylinder, and I'll show you here real quick. I know everybody's going to curse and swear about my dirty shop, but that's just too damn bad. So anyways, if you see right down in here, right down in this area right here, there's two slots, actually three slots. You have the upper shelf where that black gasket would go, and then you have the two slots inside the engine block there where the seals go in. And I just have to clean those out because there is remains of dirt and carbon and other buildup of years and years of use of this tractor. So this is the way you go with this little guy right here, this wire brush. So I used to have, and I don't know why I don't have it anymore because I can't find it, but it's it's like a drill extension. Would go on top of there, and then you close it up, and then you could run it up and down. So I'm going to see if I can locate something that I can either weld fast to this thing or, I don't know, probably weld fast to it and use the drill to clean that out because it'll work better. So here we go. Okay, so this is what I came up with. I took a rake tooth, yep, an old broken rake tooth, and I cut it off at both ends so that it would be true. And it is pretty true, I would say. There's a little wobble to it. And what I did was I superheated this end and superheated this end, and I put some borax bleach on each side of it, or yeah, borax. And I put a little drop of brazing rod on that side, a little drop of brazing rod on that side, joined them together, hit it with a torch, let her cool, and I've gotten my tool built. So what I have to do, and it's pretty simple what I have to do, I have to actually get down in here like so with this guy and just clean that up. That's all I have to do. That's all it will take. Whoops, and down the cylinder it goes. So yeah, so I just have to do that, and it's going to take two hands. So I'm just going to shut this off, or maybe I'll just put you down the other end of the engine block and speed up the video. I don't know. So as you can see, some of that dust coming up and out of there. So what you don't want to happen is you don't want to erode anything, but you do want to get this seat, the edge of this block where that little rubber bushing goes. You have to have that clean, because if you don't have it clean, it isn't going to seal, and you're going to have water down in your oil, and that's something that none of us want. Yeah, so I'm going to use my phone as a flashlight here. Still a little bit of crap down in there. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so there it is. See, I've got it kind of polished up, but I can see right there in that corner or there's the corner of that circle, you see it? No, but right down there along the edges of that. I'm going to have to come up with a better lighting system here because I can't see, and I'm going to go ahead and scrub that out of there. I do have another one of these brushes, it's smaller, and I do also have one on a Dremel, and I can see that there's just some crap, down in there that's going to have to come out. And in order to do that, it's going to take a little bit more elbow grease than I had originally anticipated. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on that until it's cleaned up. And then I will seat my seals and start dropping liners in there. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm going to show you these rings, or these sealing rings that just came out of this tractor. The top ring is orange, the bottom one is black. Okay. So whether it was black when they started or whatnot, I don't know. I think that the old ones were black and the new ones are now white, or a grayish bluish white color. So as these things age, these are actually still quite pliable. The black one is, or the oil sealing ring, which is the black one. But the water sealing ring, which is this guy right here, has become quite brittle. I mean, I got a bunch of them over there that I've taken out. It's become quite brittle, very flat, actually almost porous. Like, I don't think, yeah, see how easy that broke? These are silicone, by the way. They're silicone rings, and generally silicone's pretty tough stuff. But for right now, they're supposed to be round, and they're completely flattened out. There is some crud behind it, which leads me to believe that there may have been some weeping or leakage from the bottom up, not the top down, because I never had water in this engine, ever. This one here has got some ugliness. There's like you can see I'm going to show it, maybe you can see it. I'm hoping it focuses, but there's like this dent right there, which is kind of weird. It could be something in the block, I don't know, but I never had water. I've never had water in the engine, and here's the new ones. There are three. This is your top one. This is your oil ring. The orange is a water ring. White is your oil ring, and this one here is another ring that goes right on here, right on that lip. Now, the original engine, it's not there. So one of two things happened. The one that I'm thinking, if it was there, is that over time it deteriorated and disappeared and found itself throughout the engine someplace. Or two, it was never there. So it could be that it was never there. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna sit down on there. There's plenty of room for it there. So when I do get the thing down in there, that should be pretty good. It should work out pretty good. Now I gotta get some air over here when I'm done cleaning that one out, and I have to clean this one out, but the other ones are pretty good. But I'm gonna get some air in there, and I'm gonna use my gum cutter. I have this gum cutter CNC, or 2+2 Berkable 2+2 gum. God darn it thing. Of course there went the straw. Anyways, but I'm going to finish cleaning these ports out, and then I'm going to blow it out with air, because there's always something that's down in there. The more I chew around on it, the more it can get down onto the crankshaft. And there it is. This is the one that was spun. There is a very slight little bit of scuffing on the top side of this crankshaft, but the bottom side is clean. It looks like that. Yeah, so I'm not scared at all. I am going to run plasti gauge on it, just because it's a good thing to do to make sure that the journals are not too far out of whack. If it is out of whack, I've got a 0.02 of an inch larger bearing, or smaller diameter bearing, but they're thicker, so I call them larger. But it is an undersized bearing because it wears. So the journal itself is probably a 1 or 2 thousandths out, which isn't too god awful bad. I should be okay with it. But I will plasti gauge it with a standard, and then I will go ahead and put that other one in, but not right now because I'm working on this. But today, definitely today, I'm going to be putting these packs back together. The tractor's going back together here. pretty darn soon. You know, it's just one of these things. This tractor has to run a stalk shredder down in Maryland, so, and this is the tractor. Alright, so I'm pretty satisfied with what I've got done in there. It is not an easy job to clean out, but it has to be very clean in order for it to work. There's a little antifreeze coming from that port there out of the oil cooler, but other than that, yeah, a little bit of stuff right there I might be able to touch up on. But the hardest cylinder is this one here, the rear one. Because you just don't have the angulation, and I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to be hitting that one again. Right there I'm not happy with. There's some kind of crap in there. And that will affect the seal that's on the sleeve itself, or the liner itself. So I'll go ahead and whack at that a little bit more. Maybe I'll take you along for the ride. Alright, so I'll just pass you down through that engine if you want. So, this is what the inside of these blocks looks like, if you didn't know. Oh, where the hell did I think it was my flashlight that actually went flying. Where the hell did that thing go? Oh, here it is. Okay, so, obviously you've seen this already. But, there is a point right there. See that little spot right there on the left? Right there. That is a cavitation. There has been water bubbling there and actually causing that to erode the block. And it's not bad. It's just a spot that isn't over on these other sides. This one here has a slight little bit there too. There's a little pitting. You can see a spot right there too. It's pitted. But it's not gonna cause me any ass aches. At least I don't think it will. I think we're pretty good there. I'm going to, you see the crankshaft down in there. That's that little nozzle there. That is squirting oil up to the top of the piston. That's what that thing does. That squirts oil to the top of the piston and actually goes through the rod. You know, it quenches that rod because these are not pressurized rods like some of the, well, old cars or cars and trucks. I believe they do have ports that go up through the center of the rod to lubricate the wrist pin. These tractors do not have that. They have, well, let me find the connecting rod that's fucked up here. Oh, here we go. I cursed, darn it. Okay, so the old connecting rods or connecting rods in cars will actually have a port. It's right here, okay? And it'll bloop, 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 right up to the top here. I've seen it in past rods. I can't even remember which ones they were. But anyways, on this, that oil squirts up to the top, and then there's this little weep hole kind of a thing right there. You see that hole? It goes clear through. You see my finger in there? So that oil gets shot up in there, and a little drip of oil goes down and just lubricates the wrist pin. These wrist pins are the wrist pin bushings. This is the rod that I replaced. This is actually going back to Deere, and they're going to refurbish it, they say. $25. So you can see there's very little, there's just this tiny little bit of polishing that's here, which polishing is not really wear, it's just shining it up. So it works. That system works. As you can see, they're kind of a little different. Now, the rods on that 4010, I believe those are pressurized. They have a hole that goes up and lubricates that. Apparently this works better. Don't know. I didn't design it, but I know these are very reliable engines. This is the remanufactured rod for all of those who said that I wasn't going to actually do what I said I was going to do. There it is, brand new rod. It's actually a remanufactured rod. You can see there's actually some, I honestly think the original rod is in slightly better shape than what the others are. And these things have some serious ring tension on them because they are tight. It's really hard to get those down into the crank. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're numbered. You see they're numbered here, 4, 5. This number 2, they ground it off, so they don't know. This is number 1. This is the front, this is the rear. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is actually start putting these O-rings into that engine block there. There's 6 of these kits. Hopefully I have them all. They did shortchange me one of these clips in the kit, one of these E-clips or snap rings in the kit. So I had to reuse one of the old ones. I'm not scared. It's fine. I can put these over here with the rest of these busted up things. Where are they? Here they are. That's what came out of that engine, by the way, all of those. So I'll start putting these in. I'm going to be using my lubriplate number 105 grease. I've had awesome luck with this stuff. It works. I've never had an engine fail on startup after using this stuff. So if you think you got to have the fancy pants stuff that costs you $50 a tube or $150 a tube, you can get away with lubriplate number 105 motor assembly oil lubrication. So let me get on to this, and my battery's dying.